Hey, just put on back a smile. What picture them don't know, you know. Them get to vex, you know. Yeah, man, we have to vex, man, you know. Keep it real, you know. Where I say the interview up? Sure, early. Early out, yeah, say, man. There, man. Early out. Now, me tell you, say, we're going to do a thing named hashtag Commissioner Gugu resign. A man will get 91% disapproval ratings. And him with a security thing, but him was the national security advisor for the Prime Minister. We do so much stupidness. We have fight over land everywhere, try to take where people and not say Maroon, no have no land. This no have no land. Nobody at all no have no land. I want to take for the land and give to him rich friend them. And then them rich friends come slave old people, you for work for them. That don't make no sense. So I better me get some seed and me have the piece of land where I can plant up myself and then them the government take it and them export or do what them do and make money. Build more entrepreneurs. But man, I take over Portland and thing and you want to take what people and give a man like where else a man like 4,000 acres. For nothing because him have a plan. Me no know my banker and them have billions already. People have nothing. And them sit down there and want that. But we have a commissioner. What about that? A yes, baby. Him need to resign. People have got to take up a petition and them thing. They can't, me no know. Him get the biggest pay in history. And he's not a real police. Him can't do commissioner work. And him sit down in there. They're showing a real commissioner, you know. Where them nobody sign up down back in a Trinidad because through them the system corrupt. But just listen, a commissioner or him sit down and or him attack the government itself. Yeah? He was a national security minister. And him putting something in place and then him apply him load the politics, apply for security job, for the commissioner job. And then him start beat them left, right, and center. Them have to get rid of him. Yeah? Him never put them. And him call a spade. A little one I know is a puppet. A Gugu Gaga. Yeah? And we have hashtag. People when we start hashtag Google, we have a pressure him for resign. Him. You see the Bushmaster with them by? Like your war would be one people. You have to show anything. Top ranking you up, Ingrid you up. Mr. G you up. Award there. Yeah man. Yambo. Up, Ingrid. Yeah man, we have to say man. Zane. J&J. Yeah man. Elijah. Rough one. Yeah man, we have to say man. Carleen. Up. Yeah man. Yeah man. HVAC service. Linton Chin, you there, Ian up, one big one up and a bless up, you know. You see me, I say. But on a serious note, Sam H, top ranking. Yeah, man. Trish Newman, up sis. You there? Yeah, man. On a serious note, Devil, big up yourself. Yeah, man. See, on a serious note, them people here, dear man, you up? Them people here, we have to do a hashtag because a man need to resign. No! Frontline, bless. Ruan Ellis. Yeah, man. He need to resign. The man have no idea, no clue. All him all call, yo, at it, at you know. The man all say, him say, terrorists. Every country have them, you know, them have them thing there in every country, you know. You understand? Them have them little crime and everything. See? But when you start calling the people them terrorists and all kind of things, the man them go around. No man, this hashtag Gugu Gaga resign, it have to spread worldwide. No joke. Him fi go on. So the people them will get them all licked down. Yeah? Licked down. All them things, you know, go through court or nothing, you know. I remember, you know, we're not supposed to pay for them land there. Because we ancestor them shed blood, tears, them get victimized, them get sodomized, them get raped, all kind of things for the same cane land. And when you see a government, I gotta take the cane land and get to who them want to get to with leeching away one name. 4,000 acres. Figure plant. Man, me never see how do farming, brother. Me see how do banking, you have money already. Leave people, make them turn entrepreneur and come up like you too. So all the government need to do, if a quarter acre and some people are farm or half acre, 1 man acre, make them do what them a do. See? But this Google film ideas them cause the country billions of dollars. What could have helped build up back the infrastructure because I film idea for buy them Bushmaster and the one of them thing there, you know. Me not have to ask, you know. You know, see, the place, the police force, you know, see what them do? Militarize it. Helicopter fly around and then the prime minister come tell lie. And then forgot say, he never get elected as a prime minister, he get elected as a member of parliament. See? Yeah, man. You get appointed as a prime minister, brother. Same like the governor general. Because we not vote for the prime minister, boy. So I just remind them about the constitution too. So all the while they must have me get elected. You don't get elected as a prime minister. You just are the leader, so the leader. That's why I show the swearing and all them things about people if you understand this. You understand? You have some election run, you know, so them have vote for who are vote for the president, they have vote for them not vote for prime minister. Ongo one smaddy. Ongo one in a Jamaica. One Mia get elected in a Jamaica. The Mia get elected, you know. The one in a Portmore. Not the one else. All them there, them get appointed too. Same party thing, same thing and get appointed. Them for go to man. Me could go to the Google ya. And maybe show you why I'm for resign. Where you say apps? You there? Yeah man, hashtag Google resign. Too much money. So what me want show a real, let me just show and listen or real commissioner deal with situation. Just listen first and then I'll go to Google. Just listen. Gary Griffiths first. Listen.
To criminals. During the weekly media briefing, Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith is again calling on the government to stop giving contracts to criminals. During the weekly media briefing, Commissioner Griffith said it has not helped the crime situation. His comments come on the heels of a newspaper report today alleging that 7 reputed gang leaders have benefited from multi-million-dollar government contracts. Ian Wason has more.
Referring to a shootout on Sunday evening in Mangawali, Lavantil, the police commissioner hinted at the root cause of the crime problem in the country.
So we had a shootout where several persons, inclusive of innocent women and children, could have been killed because gangs are fighting over a box train contract. That is what we have reached to in this society.
He stated that this practice has been happening for years through HDC, URP, and other programs.
It is difficult for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to go out there and do our job when it is the state is funding gang members.
The commissioner hopes the residents in the communities open their eyes and see that they are being used by the gang leaders. He said these people are not community leaders, but urged residents to call them as they are, gang leaders. He believes instead of funding their criminal activities, we should follow what the U.S. does.
In the United States, there are over 300 persons of interest that may be deemed as terrorists, but the United States will not give them a contract to pay in the White House. It is common sense.
He called them parasites and said their activities must not be encouraged. Ian Wason, T.
Criminals.
So he might tell you who give them the contract, right? He might tell you who give them the contract. You ever hear a Gugu come out and say the government do this and the government corrupted and all kind of things? You ever hear that anything like that from female? Eh? You ever hear anything like that? Eh? Me make you hear what the Google say. Google time. We not started. We could have started.
Probably near just over 100 police stations across the country. But also there's been a significant investment in various other aspects of what we do. Now we have to make sure we, as the police and the Portland team, led by Mr. Wellington, and the area team led by Mr. Nelson, have to make sure that the policing we deliver is reflective of this sort of newness around the infrastructure that we're actually working from. We actually have a really good relationship with the people of Portland. But where we have a good relationship, we'll make it better. And where the relationship is not so good, we'll make it good.
Yeah.
If we don't have that good relationship, we can't police the way we should. All of this is in keeping with really the broad strategy of how we're approaching this business of crime. And beyond that, the business of public safety and creating an environment that people feel safe and comfortable in to go about their normal business. Now, clearly, in that strategy, there's one pillar that deals with law enforcement and the range of those activities that we are involved in, which, if you were looking at it on a scale of intensity, would start perhaps with our enhanced measures.
You know, so one bag I clap him there, attack alone, you know, you may not stop him, but that's how I make him run through me, so pick up something and show you. Yeah,
and probably at the other end is how we deal with matters of public safety, traffic enforcement. And in between that would be how we deal with investigations, how we leverage the technology that's available now to make our investigations and our operations better. Criminals who have committed crimes have been in custody in 10 to 15 minutes afterwards. Cold cases that persons who did crimes some time ago and thought that they'd gotten away with it, we reopened them and we found those people. So there's a lot more going.
So I'm telling you, you know, and a boots up, so him find them people, so them are going good and everything and the crime and thing. But you see the crime thing, don't it? You see it? Eh? You're a criminal when you get sentenced still, yeah? You understand? Alleged criminal. Saying? Now alleged, boom, bam, bam. Mr. Criminal will commit crime. Okay, all right, I could go on with it.
A lot of emphasis on investigation.
That's why I'm for call who and who criminal then, because then call everyone from I get up people, you're criminal, you know. The big man, them know, you know, them no want to call him that. Yeah, man.
Blending all these aspects of policing, the intelligence, the investigations, the operations, the interventions in communities.
But you don't see none of that from him, don't it? All right, just listen to him, you know. Watch out.
That as the police force, we have been doing and outreaching. COVID-19 provided.
So, they might do outreaching. I don't want him to talk about that. I don't want him to pass that.
Between the Jamaica Constabulary Force and our public. And this new building, which will incorporate in it technologies. To provide spaces where people can come and relate to the police in privacy.
You know, it provides spaces where people can come and relate to the police in privacy. So, oh, man, yo, let me tell you, every time I'm talk, you know, you go to a police station, then you must have a little room where you sit down. You relate to police in privacy. They might talk to the front desk same way. Now, if you are going to CIB officer, go in there and how much police in there, them sit on the same and talk to you. And have space, people can come and relate to the police in privacy. Eh? $18 million man.
And that puts a burden on us. Also, how we handle information and the people's information to honor and protect that privacy.
Yeah, there. It put burden on us. Yeah, police, what kind of burden it I put on your work you do? Me tell you, say the man just fling monkey winch in anything, put burden on us as police and how we handle information and protect information. You know, why if you put burden on you? You cannot do your work and I say to put burden on you. Just me tell you, say, I be a stupidness matter, just go and listen still. Just go and listen. If you do carpenter work, you get paid for go do your thing, you build a road, you do something, you fly a plane. They put burden on you, so you do what you're supposed to do. Eh? If you are technical information, what kind of burden to put on you? Eh? Alright, watch out.
We put in as a model in these police stations things like disabled access or less abled access.
Less able access. Disabled access or less able access. Less able, you know. Disabled access or less able access.
This should be an important feature of any modern facility. As the officers who occupy the building, we have to also look at the persons who come to us who are less able and assist.
So, I'm not gonna say no. Not gonna say no. So you see when I say them put in less able access, you go look on the word of them right on the place. A matter of fact, them just build a station for 70 million. And instead of the government turn around and say, listen, we will hold you accountable, the builder, and we will who? Them want to spend the next 75 million, them want to spend the next 70 billion for correct the building. It's just stupid. Eh? You see me I say?
We provide better accommodation, allow for persons to have a place where they can recreate, refresh, and get back on the job, what happens on the job should reflect that. That you have.
We must say yes, so. Me not even know on the job and what happened on the job should reflect what. Where my talk say? It's a police station never open down in a Portland. But me gonna try to show you
been renewed, and so you can do renewed things.
Renewed.
We are moving from this idea that the front of a police station needs a guard room. It doesn't. It needs a reception area to facilitate our people coming and engaging us.
So when you talk, the whole place a reception area? Yeah? The guard room and the reception area anyway. We just call the guard room, but we not call it that. We just change the name. Yeah? And start to get people better.
The second pillar, which is transformation. Make no mistake. The force is going through a transformation. Policing in the country is going to change, and it's changing.
I am changing for the world, so you know. This is a hashtag Google resign. You hear him? All right, just listening.
And the results of it is that crime is also going to change and go down.
You know, hear it? That's why, you see why I tell that's what I play, you know. Him tell you, point blank, a few years ago when this happened, crime also going to change and go down. Yeah? I must say Godfather this. So I tell you, crime also going to change and go down. It gone down. Crime higher than last year. The crime figure right now, the statistic for last year, corresponding period, this year I am by 80 at nearly 100. Yeah.
It's not good that you can start a career as a police officer, and at the end of your career, you're not clear on how much, knowing all the work you've put in, all the effort, what has happened, what has changed.
We must say this, sir. It's not good to start to work as a police officer. And when you reach the end of your career as a police officer, you don't know what has happened, what has changed. What the man has said, sir? The one we pay him $18 million for. A matter of fact, you know, that's why you have to step down long time because he's not a police, brother. Or you make them go with helicopter and all kind of little things and do one bag of foolishness to lick down people place. Eh? In some slave place. We kill out the people. Eh? You are the Prime Minister advisor. Eh? And then them turn in a commissioner, big bag of foolishness. You don't know what I'm saying? You hear this? You start as a police officer when you enter your this and that. You don't start as a police officer. Yeah.
Have things changed for the better?
Yeah.
When you can look back at old headlines and they're as relevant as they were then, now.
Old headline and it's relevant as then, now. We must say this, so. Old headline. So if it's relevant, that means things are going better down there. So if it's relevant, no, you keep it the same way. Eh? I don't understand, man.
That's not the change that we're after.
That's not the change.
We, as a force, our commitment is to recalibrate, to make sure that a person's career starts one way, and at the end of your career, you can say, yes, I made a difference. And
you know, you might make a person's career start one way, and at the end of your career, you say, yes, I make a difference. Your career not start so if you leave, man. Operation Google, leave, resign, go on. We tired of you. We not tired of him. Him watch them thing, we not tired of him. We not put it up, no, man. Make the man know and a joke we are making, you know. Him for go, man. We tired of him now, man.
I now have described a community and a society that I can go into and retire in peace, safety, and feeling good about what my contribution was. So that
you see it? Them come with them talk and nobody not say about what you say, Mr. Man, they boom, bam, bam, bam. And them now hold him to account. All when him up 91%, them still now hold this man to account. 18 million, them get the biggest pay. He's the worst commissioner, you know. A matter of fact, he is not a commissioner. Just a Gugu Gaga. He is not a commissioner. Not a police commissioner, this. No.
That's how we're doing. We're recalibrating.
All right, so I could leave from that. And I could go to this. But I'll show you, him doesn't get googs now, you know. Him at googs that get warmer now, you know. Our operation, hashtag Gugu Gaga resign with the pan right now. Watch out. Look on the hand there.
There was a recent case, and I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth,
Look out.
where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and did their committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth.
So people, from the man saying them commit the crime, them did not leave St. Elizabeth. I don't know why you're not else from him. Because the aim is serve, protect, and reassure. It's not when you make somebody go commit a crime and then you catch him and lock him up. Them reach them target. So the mastermind, no mind even if them did get rid of who go down there, you lock up who there. He might have there foreigner there somewhere. Him reach him goal. Him reach him goal. And that me tell you about Googs. So me tell you about Sir Googs. You think about it. You're the mastermind and you want to reach that target. So as long as you mash the target up, it clear you for where you want to go, you achieve your target. So even if you stop them, no, you should have stopped them before them reach. Just listen him. So them reach them target, you know. And him feel good about this. Look, hear this.
Very effective in December. And so this is the follow-on. So let me start with what we've been seeing.
So make us start with what we have been seeing. What? And a prevention the man deal with you. You mash your target up. And then them can't hold you. That don't make no sense.
Out there. And particularly, there have been some cases that have been particular concern to our public. I mean, there are shocking cases, and I think the most recent one that has been shared extensively on social media and even traditional media is the killing of a lady in church in Trelawney. So our response...
like something that's working. Hashtag Google resign. We don't know put up the hashtag yet. Google resign. That's why you come up while doing give him case, you know. That's this.
To that killing was quite swift. At the moment we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody for this killing. We pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out on social media, but this has been our response to that one. We've also had, and I think it's important, and I'm going to make another point. There's a certain level of degenerate behavior that we have seen among our criminals, our criminal population. We've seen where...
Well, on. So we have, me know you have among our criminal population, certain among of degenerate among our criminal population. Me not understand what you must say. You know, like you can have a population because you don't know. You can understand about criminal population. Remember, you forget. Arrested and charged and get sentenced. And, you know, boom, bam, bam. And him sitting amongst our criminal population. So you take the population, the people, them that they get to, them call criminal. And the big boys, them are criminal, you know. But people like them and not charge them, you know. You understand? In the criminal population, you know, you have the young people, the young population, and the whole of population, the whole of people. Them. You understand? Or you must say, the criminal, him see the criminal population. Never know. So the whole of criminal, you have the criminal population who not lock them up, right? And them did it, right? You say them are criminal and something. I don't understand what you must say, you know. Because it's a foolishness. You understand? You might call Jamaican criminals, criminal population. When see, I know my word, see that?
Very effective in December.
Listen.
And so this is the follow-on. So let me start with what we've been seeing out there. And particularly, there have been some cases that have been particular concern to our public. I mean, there are shocking cases, and I think the most recent one that has been shared extensively on social media and even traditional media is the killing of a lady in church in Trelawney. So our response to that killing was quite swift. At the moment, we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody.
Never have a 4th because we don't tell them to look this so, and it was a stepson for 2, and the guy went higher and the driver who get one of us in. So we get one who's in. The driver get the hitman, yeah. All right.
For this killing, we pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out.
We must say not up. Just tell the public this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out and so I'm all over the place. But some people look on it shave off no one, you know, I trying to hear and say yes. And then they look on him color and say, okay, now why I color. And you know, sister, I be a gibberish. Things don't make sense. You know, not bad about, you know, policing. Policing. I'm not talking about him fight, policing. Yeah? Listen what the man I say.
On social media. But this has been our response to that one. We've also...
This has been our response to that one way. To that one what? To that, me not understand. Hashtag Google resign, 91% disapproval ratings.
And I think it's important, and I'm going to make another point.
You're there.
There's a certain level of degenerate behavior that we have seen among our criminals, our criminal population. We've seen where it becomes a thing that people are willing to kill people for money.
People are willing to, our people, them the man I call the criminal population, you know? Eh? It come a thing where people kill people for money with criminal population. So if you have a criminal population, you know if you have criminal population, go deal with it. You call the people them criminal. Criminal population, you know. Eh?
And that family...
You ever say criminal elements and then you don't understand a criminal intent or something element. Criminal population. Eh? Alright. That's in a Enromaga House and Uptown here. And the big boys here. Right.
Members who should be taking care of each other, who should be looking about the interest of other family members, are not doing that, but are instead over property, over wealth, over items, are actually arranging and premeditating the killing of other family members. We saw that, as I say, most recently in this case. We saw it at an earlier case in Trelawney. We saw that in a case in St. Mary, where this sort of behavior has been playing out. My warning and advice in this case, or in these cases, is that even if you're disposed to do that, the likelihood of you getting away with it is quite low. In all of these cases...
So if it's quite low, oh, we have so much murder right now. And yes, they do not clean up not even 1/3% of it. Oh, we have so much murder, it'll go up more under your watch. Eh? And you know, get away with it. I'll be a crap the man attack. No, sorry. The toddler. No, I mean the baby. The googs. Sir Googs. Yeah, man.
We have persons in custody. These cases have been solved. There may be 1 or 2 people we are still after, but largely you will not get away with it.
Yeah.
So if the property that you think you're going to benefit from by organizing the assassination of family members or persons close to you, or doing it yourself, that you think that you'll do this and then enjoy the fruit.
That you think that you do this. All that language. No, man. It coming like the next line of this to man. That you think that you do this. Me not understand the language, you know. A gibberish, you know. Me can dissect it.
Roots of that, it is very unlikely. And we have been aggressively pursuing these, and we have been finding the people in most of these cases who are responsible. We know, we follow up. Our intelligence resources are adequate to find out what has happened in these cases, and our responsiveness and our investigators have been following up very rapidly. Some of these cases are wrapped in 24 to 48 hours, some take longer. But that is the case. So my warning is that we don't do this. The other point that I'd like to make is that what we've been seeing is a certain fluidity of criminal action. People move back and forth across the country to commit crimes.
No, people move back and forth across the country to commit crimes. People move back and forth around the country, then go work, then go look for family, then do people now you start and people move back and forth around the country for commit crimes. Eh? Yeah. The people, them not talk now, you know. Him not identify man, him say people move back and forth to commit crime, right? Fluidity. Yeah, man.
To make arrangements with other gangs to do crimes on their behalf. And because we've seen this fluidity of operation, we have put in measures along our roadways to intercept and interrupt this and to detect. We are getting good intelligence on how people are moving and the routes they're taking. One of the critical parts of why we have advanced the case in the Trelawney shooting so quickly is the responsiveness of some of those measures that we put in place across our roadways. There was a recent case, and I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth, where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth. We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak.
Then that's why I'm waiting the good. Because I said them in custody. The man get the target. And the greatest thing that for the mastermind. When if you know that. He's not a police. You know, you shouldn't even talk about this. This I get low grade from me. Yo, hashtag Gugu Gaga resign. And a joke. You know, see the murder rate and everything, you know, say all kind of things are going, man. I innocent people, him send the police, them go beat up on, you know. Eh? This sick man.
So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession, your likelihood of doing it and keep doing it and getting away is shrinking. The space in which you operate is shrinking. Now,
shrink right now. You have more people dead in the same quarantine period than last year. Quarantine period. Yeah, it's the same time. From last year to now, you have more people dead now, like nearly 100 people. More. Yeah? And you say it's shrinking. Them I get way. So you see my chat crap too, you know. One time crap where my chat. So
this sort of aggressive and strategic way in which we are deploying on our roads and applying our intelligence along these roadways also has a knock-on effect, because it is having an effect on things like fatal accidents. In our hotspots, we are down now 46% year on year in fatal accidents.
We must say we're down power. You must people dead by accident and think if you're open highway, you expect and they are talking about hotspot and down by fatal. You can pass something else. I mean, I tell him a garbage, him still attack. Statistic that for show you. Garbage, man attack. Straight garbage. Yeah, man.
The other thing that I'll speak briefly about is this business of the gang activities that we've seen where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups, intra-gang rivalry.
Gang member teacher, that's gang as groups. About Michael, we are talking like the Michael Jackson and better than like them groups they are talking like Byron like the group like band. Me no know. Gang as groups. What kind of group? Can we have gang already? We know a gang as groups. Gang. Understand man, you know. Gang as groups, yeah? Yeah, you hear this? Yeah? A singing group or something I talk about. Gang as groups. If it's a gang brother. He's a one-man gang. Eh? Eh? Me not understand man, a gang as groups. Yeah?
Has led to a number of shootings. We had a triple homicide in the Lincoln Road area. We had a triple homicide in Almond Town. And these cases where we've had these triples, we have,
of course,
through our investigative efforts.
If you ask a gang, we know say it's a gang, maybe 100 in the gang and thing, it's a gang as group. As group. How we might talk to gang as group. Eh? Come on now. Eh?
Have persons in custody. Some of the people have been charged. Some are about to be charged. But none of them have gone unanswered by us as a police force. And in no case of none of those triples that we've seen do we not have a good idea of who has done it, who else is involved, and we're going through the investigative process to tidy up those cases and wrap it up.
So we know who has done it and who else involved and investigate it. So if you know who done it and who involved, what do you mean you have to investigate and then wrap it up? They never go for them because you know who involved. That means when you investigate, so you have to investigate it and then wrap it up. Eh? Me know so then kill him, man. I have him on my phone, man. I have him. I look on the picture if I am same way, because some people
the other thing, and perhaps one of the other important matters in that regard, we have seen a number of killings through these gang activities in the Lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt. And what we have seen is, again, the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which, of course, criminals don't recognize, and they
so if you have a static when you create static, so when you move, static, right? Static line, right? And you set the line, and you're dead. So that means the criminal them not recognize you. I see Anna pass up and down, not stop them. And that thing they're saying, create static line. Hear this?
Fluidly move back and forth. And in that regard,
that means the police them sit down and watch them and move back and forth. And that thing I tell me, you know. But what am I said to me? Eh? And that thing say, look about it, you know. Me not understand this.
We have implemented a number of strategies to deal with that fluidity across the lower belt. We have an increase our agility. We have within the next few weeks a whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will be trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles. And
so the motorcycle, then they put that in the paper, people. When I look, I see them down, I must say understand whether somebody are trained. When I look, a lap's coachy. Woman they saw, a man they saw, she up in her foot so over him in her lap and then him what up and that a fool. That Can you imagine gunman a fire rifle for you and woman a do lap scooch for you, woman police, a man police, and you will arrive with that don't make no sense. In tactical team, a man cock up 1 foot pan bike and cock it up in the ear. Like if gunman a see you a sting, yeah, cock up your foot like that in the ear and a foolishness. Tactical team. Yeah, man. Hear this.
Their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to expand up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So we are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak to remove some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into a more fluid, citywide policing strategy.
So artificial boundary, so I move the boundary. I'm saying the boundary, them fluidity, and the man move the statistics, and I move them, and where must I say? This is your work. These are the commissioner man.
As we continue to carry out our policing operations, we will see flares, and every now and again things will happen, as happened.
What kind of flares are the one from the sun? You can knock out nothing. Oh, yeah. How should I praise him? You great goods. No, man, hashtag Google resign, man. 91%, man. Disapproval ratings, man. No, man, this is serious.
In the case of the homeless people, these things will happen. We will get those flares, and we respond to them very quickly to ensure that when it happens, it doesn't continue to happen. And also,
when it happens, it does not continue to happen. So when it happens, it does not continue to happen and flees. And one bag thing, the man does.
So to get people in custody, we have one person in custody in relation to that. Early days yet, but you know, we're progressing that case as well. So it's really this. I think it's important that the public be aware generally, without going into too much specifics on the details of strategy, but to assure the public or reassure the public that we have the mechanisms in place, we have intelligence, we are being more and more responsive and following up on these cases to conclusion much more rapidly. And so we're reducing the space.
So we are reducing
with the tools available to us, and we're creating new tools.
And we're creating new tools. I never want to create tools. I want to buy when I start the car and the gun them. We not create tools. We don't create tools. The tools that we have, and we create new tools. And what must I say? Them create any tools? Because the police vest and the thing and the gun them with them have them thing there, and the book with them they bite you up and them thing them have and you know. So them are create new tools. Okay.
To stop the gang violence and bloodletting on one sense, but to create an environment of greater safety, whether it's on our roads or in our commercial areas, and over the next, certainly over this year, we're focusing on more public safety, public order, whilst at the same time targeting those gang members and criminals who are bent on murder and murdering each other and the families and associates of other gang members. We are closing the gap, closing the space on them. But as I said, we will have flares.
The space can't close, I know.
We will pivot quickly. We'll be more agile in terms of our response to it. And over this year, we expect to have reduction in homicides, in major crime, as we got last year, even though at the beginning we've had a brief spike. We will continue to work it and get it down. So I think just sharing that with the public is important. And of course, as part of this, can you comment on the ongoing members, Central Kingston? We actually finished the decision-making, procurement process and everything for body cameras last year, so some in the latter part of last year, and putting the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place to really capture the data of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras. Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras over time and holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and
you say the man stupid now. Or if you tell me about cameras now and computer storage, gigs of things we have, man. You can buy a drive and you have all kind of little things, and we have things to capture and keep data and all kind of things. I have bigger things and you have much. You understand? Terabytes, man. You understand? You have much terabytes where in can that's full of just so easy. See? You understand? And they set up what they set up. All America have them and keep them and have them. Look how much body camera them wear. And what am I talking, man?
Computer power. So we know what we're buying now. Now is a matter of rolling out, just adding more cameras. Now, to the extent of our budget and the budget constraints that we may be under this year, we know we're going to buy more body cameras. As many as we wish, the amount we wish to have bought, I don't think we'll be able to do that because of a bit of contraction in our budget, which is really just a reflection of the contraction overall in the government budget and expenditure, largely because of COVID-19 and the effects of that. So that's with respect to cameras. But most of these cases that we have dealt with this quickly is because of a combination of technologies, which are those cameras, various cameras, not just those, but closed circuit TV, Jamaica and all of that, plus the intelligence technology that is available to us, plus our ballistics and DNA that is work that is available to us, and and also old-fashioned stick-to-itivity and detective work that our detectives have been doing for a while and still do. And I think probably most importantly, or more importantly, is also the assistance we get from the public in these cases who support us with giving us information on what we do. But we have a whole technology.
I mean, I have more information than them combined, you know. Believe it or not, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. No, because I'd be a foolish.
Program rolling out. We have 30 major technology projects. They have been delayed a little bit, but a lot of them will be coming on stream this year, including our station record management system, our case management system, the ability to connect what we do across the country. So as the criminal...
And I know that I roll out, you know. Not like this when I thought I roll out, and I'd be a foolishness, you know. Them was just, you understand, PR.
Criminals are fluid, so are we in our communications and in our ability to do surveillance. So we have, apart from whatever other responses we have, a lot of our responses are technology driven. We are building capacity within the force, and that capacity will get better and better results. Capacity isn't built overnight, but people can rest assured that we have a clear program of development, a clear program of capacity building, and this capacity is building and transforming the JCF into a police force that we can be very proud of, not just in Jamaica, but internationally, and we will see.
Yeah, the police force are proud of. Right now, the good cop, them have to well and afraid to even talk because they get blow and blow. And I be a cop, the man that talk proud of. See them just a beat a man, they not talk about ticket and all, and be a beat and tell about all the mother and shoot upon that camera in your ear. Nothing.
See that play out, and we're seeing some of the results of that capacity. It's a work in progress.
Right, we can move who are coming. We don't want to see you, we don't want
an interdiction. If they're
this one.
we put out something at that time. We can put out something, the team can put out something. We'll have to do some research into the specific cases that you mentioned. I know that we have just revamped our whole court of inquiry system, and we've been getting the cases through much quicker. I signed off on some people's, on the cases after they're done. I have to sign off on them, and I've been doing more and more of those have been coming to my attention. What we can do is, if not right now, but if you get in touch with the team, the CCU, they can update you on some of these cases, specific cases. Right.
My final question
Yeah.
to the Commissioner, are we also not be realistic as a consequence of performance assessment?
Of what?
Performance assessment or misconduct?
As I say, again, if you I don't have those figures, to be fair, I do not have those figures right to hand at the moment about how many are not going to be re-enlisted for that, but certainly they will be, some will be, and it is one of the methods, of course, how we protect our public, is to get rid of these people. We have the iProbe, which we had restructured, I think last 2019, has been ramping up their efforts. As a matter of fact, what they have been doing is, even after things like police stops, etc., they have been subsequently stopping people and asking what the experience was, and following up with any of
them big word and not really a big word neither. Him just make himself look like a more puppy show. That Barnabas better circus.
the reports that we get on police misconduct. It's not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it. I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed. We have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
The man say the eyes them, some of them 2013, 14 go where them have to come back. So them have to be very well for getting rid of our members. We have to be the members.
If you I don't have those figures, to be fair, I do not have those figures right to hand at the moment about how many are not going to be re-enlisted for that. But certainly they will be, some will be, and it is one of the methods, of course, how we protect our public, is to get rid of these people. We have the iProbe, which we had restructured, I think last 2019, has been ramping up their efforts. As a matter of fact, what they have been doing is, even after things like police stops, etc., they have been subsequently stopping people and asking what the experience was.
So if we stop the people them and ask them what they, so what me not understand me now, because if a police does subsequently stop me, I mean, you stop me down the road. If me get stopped, you don't subsequently stop some people and ask them what their experience was. That means you stop me and say you have some more up there, so as you stop me and me drive off, them are stop me and say what was the experience? Because them couldn't do somewhere else and just see me a drive and stop me and ask me what was the experience was. If that not make no sense. And then if you double stop me, that don't make no sense neither. Because you couldn't stop me about ticket or something. And then you have somebody just right up there, so look when me stop, when me drive off. You stop me and ask what was your experience. That don't make no sense, Gugu. Eh? You couldn't say, okay, and just stop him and say what was the experience, the experience and what the experience was. It just can't make sense, Gugu. You understand what I say? So if you put out two set of police, when them stop a man and them talk to him, and they expect stop you again. I ask, the experience, this and that them take, that don't make no sense. We must say it's not no sense.
Following up with any of the reports that we get on police misconduct. It's not
police misconduct. So you just stop me for something and then the man asks, the experience was. That makes sense? Eh? Can you couldn't see me 5 miles out and stop me? You know, the police stop me and ask me how my experience was. That wouldn't make no sense again. That means if I put the police apart, maybe a 50 feet apart, 100, 200 feet apart. So when them stop one sector, so we drive them come out and stop you. And then I go about my lawful business. That is not. Remember, if you don't suspect me of doing something, that thing, you can't just stop me, so you know. You understand? You break some law. Me and the public defender, we did it on TV, CVM. I showed one of them there, but we are talking about the same stop and search, or them to take my back seat. Foolishness. You understand? So them break the law by doing certain good things. You're not suspect me of doing a crime. I'm out for commit a crime. I do something. You're not supposed to stop me, so. But Google attack to make no sense now.
Not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it.
Yeah.
I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed.
Yeah,
we have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
So we have to be very deliberate in our processes to getting rid of our members. Our members, no matter how we know. Hear this.
Right.
Yes, Commissioner, man.
All right, thank you very much.
We don't want to see you.
Boulevard, where they chased this person and then they escaped they shot the people in the car, chased one, shot him on the ground, and then moved away from there. That car was intercepted in about I think about 10 minutes later by a team of quick reaction persons. So without getting into too much detail about the specific tactics and how you deploy and all of that, once you have criminals operating fluidly from one space to another, moving, committing crimes and moving to another place, it's important that we also are as agile and responsive. We know what kind of traffic situation.
Since the next man, the people them get shut up in the car and everything, and then you go hold the man them again. That is a lame duck force. Yeah? Yeah? Because you want to prevent certain things, so not like you get, a tip off and you got to stop this before the man them commit the act, them reach them target. So even if you lock them up, the target reach. If the mastermind them go do it for him reach him goal. You understand? This bad man.
We know all of this. So it's clear and it's been shown to be effective to have layered in among our normal patrols, our specialized... What
do you mean by layered in among our normal patrol? Where you might try to put some word there and it don't make no sense. When you drop the word, it don't make no sense neither, And that me I tell you, Gugu. No, yeah, what? We don't make no sense, man. Just listen back yourself, man. Listen yourself, brother. Yeah?
Operations patrols, that we also have a quick and responsive unit that can operate very quickly in the corporate area in spite of traffic.
Okay.
Right.
And second, we've had two movement gun bus since the start of the year.
Yeah. We may
What's this now? More this
very much
move, yes, move. I want to
drop that rapid above.
This one to the cinema.
In the first year, we dropped by, through a number of different techniques and methods, we dropped by 20%, 22%, 21 plus percent. Now, what we've seen over time, what we're dealing with is a very chronic murder problem in the country.
Yeah, chronic.
It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year. And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how close or how far from...
Oh, if the man I talk about chronic murder, over 20 years, over 1,000. And you get a discussion how close and how far. What kind of discussion narrative? What you get? What must I say, sir? You have to come back, sir. No, sir.
What we're dealing with is a very chronic murder problem in the country.
Listen now.
It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year. And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how close or how far from 1,000 we get.
What kind of foolish thing this Gugu? This no man, you make me have to talk out loud. I mean, I want to talk, but I just want the people them listen, you know. I don't want to talk so hard for you, know, Gugu. Come in and talk hard for baby, you know, man. Yeah, man. Me love my you know, you have the grandkids and you have your kids, them and them thing. You can't, you know, want to talk hard for no. You understand? But what kind of foolish question answer this? How close you get? The narrative how close you get to 1,000? What kind of foolish answer this? You hear what I'm saying, Kabay? Jesus wisdom. Make him finish.
Whilst we still year on year turn out 1,000 homicides a year.
Yeah.
Now we need to, in my view, drop that rapidly.
Rapidly.
Some things were put in place to do that whilst we build capacity.
So, he might become at the 2019, it's around 2020. So, he might tell the drop rapidly, them come with Zozo, come with everything and it fail. Fail, because I tell it's not going to work. I'm tell them why. Somebody say, oh, because you don't have no sense. Even that study the world and don't know why. You understand? We don't scale it down and I tell them to say it now go work. I'm showing them why it now work. It work? No. They spend, and then the Prime Minister run out. I spend how much billion deal with crime plan. I spend the most billion. And spend the most billion doing what? There's no sense.
Now, a lot of the capacity building efforts have been giving us better results. So we see our clear-up rate increasing. We see major crimes going down, including murder.
Murder, including what kind of murder? When am I talking about, man?
We had a 22% drop, approximately. It went up about 3% in 2019 and went down again last year.
It went up, it go back.
The more capacity we have, is the better we will trend on that.
Yeah,
but murder is not the only thing the police do. And we cannot...
Yeah, murder is not a good thing the police do. What kind of fool? Hey, I'm going to go on and hashtag Commissioner 91% disapproval rating. Go your yard.
For to leave everybody else without policing to prevent gunmen largely from killing each other. We cannot do that. So we have to split the resources between that. We have to split the resources and some of the technologies and so on that we've been getting into leveraging investigations, getting better clear-up rates, etc., which is a slower process of getting the homicides down. We are locking up people more, we're bringing them, we're creating better cases, and we're finding out who did it quicker. But ultimately...
That means right now with that self-crime, if you find out who did it quicker and all kind of thing, so people that get scared and all kind of thing, may I tell you, crime man around 100 up. Right now. See? I'll be a crap this man attacking.
That is a reasonably slow process. The cycle of violence and the willingness to go and kill, as whether you're family or whether you are gangsters fighting each other. In a recent study, about a gang member is 160 times more likely to be killed than another citizen. As soon as someone takes up that...
So you have to do a study on that? If them not for them own the couture, if not do them look at thing, it most them are more likely to get killed than a man when I mix up on the boat in business. And now go around them and them thing there. If I buy the gun, you attack. Because you be alright and going to a car accident and all kind of thing. If you attack about the gun and what have you, different from you walking and robbery or somebody set you up or something, you know, mix up with them there. So you have to do a study for this?
Gun, they become endangered. But it's a repeated cycle of violence.
Yeah.
So, although we got some resources, and we did, and we got a good input. Some of those things are dealing with some things that have been outstanding in the force for a long time. We've always spoken about why don't we use more technology. We've always spoken about what about the conditions in which policing takes place, our mobility. So there's been an investment in that. And we've given a return on investment in the metrics of policing. Now,
same guy the metrics and the metrics of policing, yeah, man.
If you want rapid drops in homicides, and you can do your research and look at anywhere that rapid drops have taken place, you've used not normal methods, but extraordinary methods.
You said that man that's stupid. Them not tell him come in with a soldier kind of thing, rapid drop in a homicide. It not gonna work. It can't sustain. You just can't sustain it. You can't run in Google. Let me teach you something. Yeah? The most powerful country in the world but spend the most on them budget. Them budget are like nearly 900 billion with a B US pan them security, pan them forces. If you protect them country and what have you, yeah? Yeah? Them armed forces. And let me tell you this. Them go Afghanistan 20 years, over nearly like 3 trillion. Trillion with a T, trillion. Yeah? Where them achieve from that? Them have to come out 20 years. Same corruption, Taliban take it over same way. And don't mind because if you not start from the top, they say remember them have for them, yeah, them can't understand and make them soldiers dead. So some soldiers go down to go dead. Never born yet. When the 9/11 go on, and the young boy, 19-year-old, this one go lose all them life and think that don't make no sense. See? So you have to go clear and all and then build. And when I come with that, I tell people about build. They think if you just stick on a zinc fence and put up a wall fence, that can change the people their mind. When somebody mother dead, or them father dead, and them know so them friend this to turn enemy kill them, them are want do them back. So when you're not smart, we need a sweet and cancellation. You don't listen to me. When you not no sense. You don't go spend a bag of money and then fix up the infrastructure and do something. You see me I say? Yeah man, this is foolish. This is just foolishness, you know. I will scale it down, I will tell them, I will show them. So them just have no sense. I couldn't deal with them, you know. I waste them, I waste our resources, man. It's simple, man. Yeah, man. Simple catching up, bless.
Always. Uniformly. Yeah, and if somebody can find me a version that's not that case, well, I'd be glad to hear. But you use extraordinary methods.
Foolish.
And so what we have done and what we did to get the benefit of extraordinary measures is to carry out our operations in a way that we are working within the law that's available to us. And if the law...
Man, you can't get done crime, you see? You see when I do police, community policing, you do. And our next country are war. Like come say when I say out them big the bushmaster and them thing they go over there so we gonna pop on the 2 little people. By the way, nurses and doctor live over nurses and teacher live over there. Go no go pop down. Yes. You understand our people, our blood, sweat and tears. And helicopter. How much money for bills put the helicopter up there a year? When you think about the resources and them thing there. And then Andrew now I try to do damage control, you know. So him go over there and I think he must become a brethren. Peter called me and tell me say him depend thing I tell the people them say I assume they want to run the road and then build the house out of the road. Then why did the rest of mash up? That don't make no sense. And me I tell you no can't take my thing and give a man who have billions out of banking because people lose them bank account and all kind of thing in NCB. Yeah, they draw out the money and shut it down and all kind of thing. Billions in value. They are no business. See? The whole of Portland them a take away. The all about them a take away. We can't afford to do this. It's a next slavery in a next kind of way. See? And then you want a man whatever do. We know what do no farming. If you come to be my boss, so me have a farm instead of me control this, me have a family, I have a little place, I have a little house, could have been and could have farm. Panded a piece of land, then before a palm, we look up paper, we look up cash crop or something, and then the government set up a thing like the MT or something and take it from way and sell it to, you know, the supermarket, them are hold it. Or the supermarket and the hotel and we export to the Caribbean and try to get the North American market and pay up for people them, draw on the tax, make a bill, make a do something. No, you want him for all it and then we go be what? But the same land, but people them blood, sweat and tears wash this up before go work for leaching. And then I get the land free, 4,000 around 3 or 4,000 acre, but I do farming for the door. The other day when I talk about so I think people are that. Eh? Or if I get it free, why you don't chop it and give the people them? And them same one I go get job for the door. Them can't get the seed and plant and just take water. Eh? And look water and do them thing. If them are the farmer, why we not make them have it? Why we want to create entrepreneurs? We don't want to hold them down. You understand? This bad. So if them I get it free, the rich man them will have their money. You can buy super yacht and do all kind of thing, and then you come work with them. Not doing nothing. So you're a yield. I feed them. So them say that and give little or nothing. You say we're no wicked. You want to know when I vote for you, you know. Yeah? And them man are advisors and look here, a garbage. Garbage all time out. Them don't know him attacks, brother. Hear this.
If it expands, our tools expand, then we use those. And that's what we did with our states of emergency. Anybody on this platform who is a reporter can remember the calls in Kingston East, remember the calls in Clarendon, and those are some of our areas that immediately we shut it down. Now, because this whole issue of states of emergency have become somehow political issues, I've avoided...
Man, you're born in Jamaica. You don't want state of emergency straight up on you, brother. Me hear Desmond Mackenzie can did lock up in a state of emergency in 76. Yeah? Me hear him talk about to apologize and all kind of little things. Eh? Where are some, brother? Where go on? Where go on, sir?
Am I definitely alive? Listen, wait.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to be respectful towards a person in the comment called Boyd. And here's what I'm saying.
When name? What Boyd? When there?
Well, Boyd. Hold on, wait. Because somebody addressed him a little bit in the comment. Because he wants to know what you know about policing. And I want to say to Mr. Boyd, yes, Wayne is not the commissioner. Yes, Wayne father was a police officer. So Wayne know.
No, I have enough people run through policing too, you know. Enough more family members to
Mr. Boyd, no, Wayne, just hold on.
Yes.
What Wayne is bringing to the audience are facts that he has. Wayne has a right to his opinion because Wayne see things that he's not happy about. And you, Mr. Boyd, you're talking to someone who served for years, you understand, in a system that is corrupt and still corrupt. And there's an idiot running the JCF. That is what Wayne is upset about. You want to just address Boyd.
No, I'm more answer right now because I'm running where we kid, you know. You address him nice, but I'm running where because it have no sense. Because him can't tell me about policing, you know. Him. That's right. If him can't, you know, so him can't tell me nothing about policing.
You understand? He's very rude, but you know.
Yeah, no, every rude him for rude and hey. Nasty thinking Boyd. No man, you know, so I run with the piece of shit. No, why me I look for, you know? Where him there? Where the nastiness there? Got 2 pieces of zinc film. Which part in there? No, wait there. Where the piece of shit there? Where the piece of shit there? Can we look feet, you know? Come in, have no time feet, you know? Wait there. Come in and see. We want to find it quick.
Police and him name Barry Boyd.
Barry him name. Barry.
Simple catching. I think she's a female. Well, she addressed him properly. She said, Boyd.
Barry him name.
Police. She said to him,
let's see a Barry and talk. Where him there?
We alone some talking facts. Barry Boyd, him name, he make a comment about what you know about policing.
Piece of shit, yo.
Understand what you're doing.
Eh? Brother, the amount of case, well, I know the amount of case we solve, them couldn't solve it. Because them don't know, and me no want you nasty boy. Just go and go on a bath, go shave your teeth, come off of me. Yo, me no want hear from Uno. Uno mash up Jamaica on a piece of shit.
Yes. Troll them, send them for come troll.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, me find him. Who's about the nastiness them? Because him now look fine.
Simply catch him, address him nice.
No, we not address him nice, not at all. We are running away. Him a piece of shit. Yeah.
Run him
can we tell us that we don't want to run here, we don't want to run here. When I'm by him there, just look on that and tell me 8 where him there. Just tell me where him there. Come here, run through that.
They were way earlier up, but as me say, the lady addressed the person addressed him.
Barrington Clark.
Police, they make a comment earlier. Cause you know, say the police them on the live yard check.
No man, but of course. So when we hashtag Google for going yard. Come now, do no police. Now, no, the man look here. Hear this, brother. Don't move. Just hear ya. Look, find this. Hold on. Go down back and Google.
Work, the investigations, the intelligence work, the use of technology, this rapidity in which people are following up and responding, it overshadows that. And it can feed a narrative that suggests that the police and the police officers are not functioning sensibly to what is going on. That is not the case.
What you mean it's not the case? That's not the case, Gugu. You have function? He's not a police. Come on, fear man. You understand?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's not a police.
One, me a bunny, me now. I'm the family in the chat no. So when me talk to you, me are one of the first persons say,
brother, the ears them you serve. Yeah, man.
That's what we are talking about from day one. We can't even do a breast briefing. Boy, me know say you're still a listener.
No, man. I look for him. Because I ban him to get banned, man. Him too stink, man. When you come here, so you just keep it looking nasty self quiet here, sir. Because style it to me, I run away, you know. And you have to get banned. Find him quick. I look for. What number him there? When you look for the number there and tell me where him there, just look at the time and tell me where him there. I'm find him quick. You look at nastiness. I'm find him quick there, yeah? No time for him. I'm going to finish play this better. Don't move.
But when you're dealing with a chronic problem, and even if you take a public health approach to it, there are certain features of that are very clear. One of the things, when we were dealing with COVID, we quarantined, we isolated, and we prevented gatherings, and there are a number of other things because the responses that we had related directly to an ongoing situation. An epidemic of violence, according to the UN, is 10 per 100,000. Jamaica has been way beyond that, 4 to 5 times that, sometimes 6 times that for 20 years. And the first time we reached up into the 60s per 100, the 6 times that was in 2005. And sometimes in the discussion, we don't inform our public of what the truth is. And because we don't do that, it's difficult to get them to move with us to get the better results. So this outreach is part of that process so that they don't have to hear a filtered version and that people can ask actual questions and focus on what the problem is. The problem is we have these criminals who are willing to murder people for little or no reason or for money, and we have families willing to murder each other. I'll get somebody to do it over things like property. That is a reflection on the society and is a reflection of what happens when you allow violence to continue over a 20-year period unabated. So, the methods and the capacity that we build as a force has been applied to the circumstances we find.
Confusing now.
And so we get gains. Now they don't happen as fast as we would like. We have every now and again we have a blip, a flare-up, and something that is really shakes the nation, the country. And quite rightly, our media highlights this, and that's proper. That's what you should do. And then we do what we're doing now, which is to make it clear on what we're doing. Yes, George.
If I may,
sure.
And I wanted to ask a question about states of emergency, taking on politics out of it, because I'm assuming, and I'm pretty confident, that when you drew the approach on paper with your team and met with the government to say, well, Prime Minister, this is what we recommend. State of emergency, the operational...
and I can recommend it to you, know.
We're going to achieve these objectives by doing these things. I'm confident that the results we're seeing are perhaps less
I know me,
than
I look
what
for
we
нас,
have
but when there?
anticipated at inception and then implementation. So if I may
Okay, yeah,
make
3-1, okay.
why is it that the state of public emergency,
Yeah, man, the
this
first
trump
one, okay.
card
I
that
could
we
look
were
for
expected
us.
to give us significant
Run him
influence?
off, man. We don't
There
need
has
to
been
run him off.
influence,
We don't,
but not
yeah,
how it's behind
yeah, man, I think we don't want boy, you know.
the public confidence.
So, right, but George, remember, you know, we had the first discussion around whether it's working or not. Those discussions started in the back end of 2018, if you remember. That's when the discussions were, was it working or not? By early 2019, that was the case. It is not necessary. All you need to do is some other things. Right. Now, as I said, I didn't want to make this press conference, unfortunately, about the state of emergency because it has a way of overshadowing all of the other strategies. There is no strategy, no policing strategy that we stopped doing because we had a state of emergency. We realized we had a very chronic and acute problem because we are up at 1,600 plus, and we needed to rapidly bring that down.
Yeah, punk. You can't go rapidly bring that down. All you need to do, community policing. You can't just take up some young people, you know. I remember telling you, you know, you remember the force are corrupted, brother. You know that, right? Me know that. Because me know some things I know them don't know, you know. You understand? Some things I know them don't know.
But you know, we
see?
just to
hey, let me show you something. Let me show you something, brother.
I just want to say something, Wayne.
Yes.
Range Rover. I mean, I tell Wayne for Banyo, but Range Rover. You're going to give Range Rover listen to what we are talking about. Range Rover, come on, man. No, Wayne is not telling anybody that cannot have your opinion. Range Rover, if you live at Jamaica, you're Jamaica.
We number him there. No, we don't have to explain to him. We not do work, so we don't have time for him.
Nobody not stop you from...
Range Rover, come off our thing to, man. Go it to, man. Go it to you. I want to make me see you. Leave to, man. Go away, man. Move, man. No, but move him to, man. Is that them... I crap to him for leave to, man. Go away, man. We could go back for our thing. No distraction, brother. Me and monitor that. You can't go on a jar with it, them cut you off. You can't go on some place with it. You understand? So you can't go on mouthpiece. Go on mouthpiece. Uno for go away. Not throw around you. We not even put them in. You understand? That man you just talk about a crap. Hear this.
I can't say that in 2018, I mean, the fact of the matter is, let us just be clear. In 2018, we got in St. James, which had been running at 335 homicides a year, roughly in 2017, dropped to 102. That was 200 plus homicides, and that's what was implemented. Overall, the country dropped by 22%. As soon as we achieved that, it ended. It ended immediately on achieving that. That's a fact. I'm not right. But when you end it like that, it's not so. So the real purpose and only purpose of it is to reduce violence. A lot of discussions have been held around it, that it's crime fighting. Let us separate violence from other crimes. What it does is reduce violence. And also, within communities that are high violence communities, if you go in there, talk to the people, there's another feature of it that doesn't...
Him feats are gun crime alone are violence, you know. Come and take a stone and lick it down and kill the same way, you know. Domestic violence. And the man said, separate violence. When am I talking to make no sense again? And that may I tell you with the man, yeah. Because you have a lot of things, a domestic thing cause them kind of thing and cause that, you know. Between friends and family, you know. And neighbor, you know. And I like when I tell you about gang and thing, may I tell you as a fact. You understand what I say, brother?
Yes.
You go take it.
Yes.
You understand? So when you talk about a fool, about violence, because separate this and that. Like violence
doesn't arise sometimes. That feature is that apart from those shootings that hit people and murders that take place, there's an overall calm that those communities experience. And what that calm means, much less shootings that don't hit anyone. Now, the shootings that don't hit anyone aren't recorded. They don't become part of the statistics, but they're very much a reality of people's lives in those communities. It's the decision on whether an old person sleeps on a bed or under a bed. Those are the decisions we're making. And I cannot see why the work done, and the fact that these people within the community get this benefit, why we would stop it.
Well, I'm wanting to see something.
That is, but I mean, I want to bring us back to what we're talking about.
Yes.
So the innovations, the technologies, you don't get results, you don't put them in place and get results the next day. It's a process of building capacity. It's modern technology, modern.
That's why we have the hashtag Google resign. Come here, try to show you what kind of man this when matter.
Police techniques, it is responsiveness. These things give you incremental reductions over time. Now, just as a point, I mean, last year, I think in 2019, Belize's homicide rate went up. Went down 24% last year. They implemented states of emergency. I'm just saying, something people can do research on and look at. I am in no way, and we make it clear, hinging everything we do on this. They don't solve these cases that Mr. Bailey spoke about. They are not the ones where we work with our overseas partners to get convictions in the U.S. for people who are affecting crime in Jamaica. They are not, the states of emergency don't do that. All it does is create less deaths in the communities where you have those sorts of problems. All of the public order matters. The crime matters. The fact that we have a 46% reduction in road fatalities and all that. All of that is just effort by the police, technologies that we have implemented, and the use we've been making of the additional assets. Those assets lead to better cases, more convictions, higher clear-up rates, more responsiveness on the road, ability to manage corridors where criminals may use, and create an environment where between the commission of a crime and being caught and being in custody and doing the cases is much shorter. So it's where a national
people, the editor, I don't know with him, you know, because I want him to get the piece of paper and just look on this.
Police force, and therefore there's no policing matter in the country that we don't deal with. So homicides, terrible, significant, a big area of focus, but not the only. People need to feel safe walking in their communities. When you call about a laptop stolen, we can respond. We need to give good service at a police station when somebody comes. All of those things matter. So in the process of transformation and changing the organization, building a back end that can support all of this, and developing a police force that not only the members can be proud of, but Jamaica can be proud of, is a process. It's not just about murders, although that is a big focus of ours. Okay.
So when I'm yes, I don't know. Well, I'm making come back now. Move a man here. All right. Watch this now.
Plane crash. I didn't quite get it. Okay. So, I mean, we've had discussions with also with our overseas partners and law enforcement that operate in the region about this plane. It wasn't destined for Jamaica. We do know that it's a Mexican registration plane, that the pilots who are on board, as far as we know, and as been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It has a profile that, is suspicious, and we are following up. We actually know who were flying it, and this is part of a transnational set of investigations that are taking place. I don't want to go into too
on board. Lie. And then it have a profile of
much more detail about it, but the plane itself, it just crashed. It wasn't actually, as far as we're aware, carrying any particular goods. Let me just thank members of the media and the people who joined us on our various platforms. And just to say, by way of closing, and I have to do this, and I want to do it, really, is that in December, you know, when we talk about a surge, or when people talk about let's just put more people out there, we are very finite. We have been operating with far below our establishment, and we've gone through a process of trying to build that back up. Now, COVID interrupted that, but we have learned to live with it. And so over the next year, we should be able to increase the number of police officers we have. We have a long list of people who wish to join. And as we do the changes in the force and people become more, they see more of what we do in these engagements, I suspect that number will grow even more. But a surge is a word. I mean, we do it's an operation that you're doing. But what it really means is over December into this month that our officers don't go home. It means that on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Clarendon and captured him. But largely, the presence on the road means that those officers aren't enjoying their holidays and all of that. Now, I don't want sympathy for our officers. Our officers do that because that's what they're committed to.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want no sympathy, you know. Just listen to me now. Listen and just look what out. The last part of this. That's why we put hashtag Gugu Gaga resign. Just look.
But as the police commissioner, I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and the work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there. They were deployed. They were doing what they need to do. They recognize the challenge that could come out of the killing that took place.
Look at now.
Sorry, something just came in from the side.
He recognize that the killing that took place and he forgot to him say one paper and he forgot to him speak one podium. Him stutter and him but me feel laugh till my weak to backside. Look, just hear him again. This me can't make on pass this. This name Gugu, hashtag Gugu resign. Watch
Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Commissioner. I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and the work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there. They were deployed. They were doing what...
Please listen to what I say, and this just one little piece of paper, throw him away. Just look.
They need to do. They recognize the challenge that could come out of the killing that took place. Sorry.
Look at.
Sorry, something just came in from the side. And just a note here that no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen, just a point, they asked me to note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around or is it video about something that happened downtown today. It was a voice note. It hasn't actually happened. Is this to do with some shootings and so on that actually didn't happen? But that kind of broke what I was saying. So let me come back to it. And really, it's really, as commissioner, to thank my members.
Another thing I say, that about in West Kingston, about the police and them job when they do. And you come as a commissioner thank my members. Another say that they better. You see the piece of paper, I'm gone.
The police who go out there day and day for doing the work you do.
Another thing that
It's, you know, and I have to do it. And you know, one of the things, and I'll just share this quickly. If you want to know something that I would find helpful.
Hear this now.
Now, for persons who know a police officer who's in the JCF, if you know one or you've seen one who has done something that you thought was noteworthy or good, or just maybe a family member, maybe whoever. If you could add, if you could just contact them and say, hey, thanks, then perhaps that could assist me in going a long way in getting them to continue to push.
You just say no need, no thanks from them, you will deal with that. Now that him just said it before him get the note.
But we in simple,
Jesus Christ.
We in Simple Catching made it very pointful, very, very open and point and make a great point, you know. He said, listen, this is very disturbing. Simple Catching, big up yourself, because maybe you're new to the chat, but what's that person before? The chat. This is disturbing, This is very disturbing.
That's why I play it, because we have a hashtag Gugu resign. And what we are telling him, so when I do it, you know, malice or nothing. We're going to try to show you, say, no, ready for the job, brother. He's not a police. One little paper, that's why I'm going to do the tune, Gugu Gaga, just listen to the tune, the word that the tune me I talk about. He get a little paper and forget where I speak. Him stutter and about me for laugh till me week. And a joke me I make. And this him get, you know. See, all right, let me just play the tune and me I forgot to talk on a band. Hashtag him for go one man. And a joke me I make, man. Google need for go one man. Him for resign, brother.
Embarrassment, man. Can't give a press briefing, and this is the man where people where a fellow boy that actually can know about police. I take that very personal, you know.
Him too hard, man. Him too hard. The amount of, let me tell you this, the amount of case for myself, let me tell you with my help, the amount of case for myself.
But me don't call about the situation and say to Elizabeth and you bust the case.
I'm not nothing my boss pan them, man. Me don't know where him come from, that's a piece of shit. And we just talk, and me tell them, me don't want them, me want yourself. Me don't want to chat to them. Me not fun of some people, you know. Because them are garbage, you know. And them make the country stay so, you know. So we have to take it up now with one hand. So hear this now. We're all right. You know, so we use the part there, you know, where we are right. And then we have a part of where, you know, Joe Barner get up. We have a little part of where we run them way too. You understand? Coming up, and like me, I beg some friend, my name Lonesome.
That's right.
You understand? So me no fun of some people. Yeah. You understand? We stand for the poor and needy. We not stand for the rich and greedy, brother. If me stand for that, me that friend them. Cause them come to me. So with a friend them and then boom bam and I talk how them I do good when they know so lie me I tell why me I do that. And more else you talk about. Hear the tune, yeah?
Yeah, government! You know it's very illegal to employ a baby to do big people job. You know that very silly and mad. Hear this! You have some baby, them a walk you to crib. Go on poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and about me, I feel laugh till me wake. I talk about fit and come a talk about it. I talk about come and call it shape. Give me sentence to write, it never yet complete. Baby, can you need to feed him a rock him to the people of the Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga. Oh, you flip baby in a big people job. When people are them down place I get robbed. Baby don't know the difference from dog. I'm happy wonder if the administration man them the practically don't make way in a sponsor of baby make Patrick look like an Eastern ladder. You love sweet bird and Mr. Crabber. School them with the foot like Moses running. Go so Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga. I tune a open up everybody eyes. People hear them tune at them laugh till them cry. Baby stop up like him tongue tie and silver ear. When I said good not care what we try. Him a talk about fish and then him talk about sky. Talk about woman with drunk cover and fly. And ask him good question him give you stupid reply. You understand this baby not care how we try. Him just so Gugu Gaga Gaga Gugu Gaga You want some baby, them a walk close to grave. Go round for jump time for make big speech. Get a piece of paper, pick up with them a say. Them a stutter and a mummy and the laugh till me wake. Them a talk about friends and then a talk about it. Talk about come and call it shit. Then the sentence the right in never yet complain. Every now and then me feed him a rock him to sleep and go some go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga go gaga.
Yeah, brother. Tell me now, that tune and 100% Google that.
Yes.
No sense there. You see him get the paper?
Big up yourself and kill me, just say you put baby in a people job.
You can't put baby in a big people job when people are dead and place I get robbed.
Why not chat tonight,
No, man. You know, see him go on to the podium there. And a joke, the tune are reality, you know.
But we had Douglas come out there, Michelle, Douglas has jacked to the
No, man, hashtag Google one, man.
Yeah, joke, we have a laugh.
Yeah, man, then Google. You know, see the man that him get confused.
Andrew, big up yourself. We don't see Andrew Judy. Andrew, you go at the back of the class tonight. Andrew, come in late. You go at the back of the class, Andrew. But we had pull that joke aside, though.
Yeah, man. Google, you know, sir. Google have not style. Google have nothing. Google get one piece of paper, brother. And him gone. Him just say he must serve for them and he must do it. And then I tell you if you know a police, if you give them and what have you. You understand?
One of the biggest cartoon, you know.
Yeah, then that man.
Somebody make a comment with in the chat like a while, you know. We had the laughing stock at the Caribbean, you know, with a commissioner here. You know that, eh?
Of course. Then what on, brother? You know, you're the commissioner, look here. Remember just play again. Look at you're the commissioner, I say. Yeah, any commissioner in Jamaica. Hear this. You're the commissioner here. Listen
to put an end to criminal elements being awarded.
Hear this.
Police Commissioner Gary Griffith is promising to put an end to criminal elements being awarded state contracts. Yeah. Speaking at a Trinidad and Tobago police media briefing on Monday, Commissioner Griffith said the state has been funding organized crime and murders over the past 15 years by giving state contracts to criminal elements. He said the state contracts vary from construction of roads, repairs to bridges, construction of drains, building of homes, homework centers, and play parks.
Fighting with each other over state contracts has continued to be a major problem. They put hits to use, and they use the profit from the contracts to put hits on other persons, to buy more weapons, to use it as a front for drug blocks, to purchase more drugs. Presently, intelligence has revealed the gangs who have the state contracts. We have names, we have companies, who they use as fronts, the type of contracts, and where they're getting it, and the cost.
No, Jamaica police now do this better. Them now tell us that the government, remember the government, the commissioner tell us that the government give them the contract and do this, you know.
Yes, man.
I invigorate them, you know. And I tell the people, them is not table leaders. Them, they are criminal. He might tell them, yeah? But them, I mean, no good. This are someone want a commissioner come out and burn politician.
No time house because him criticize you, or you expect you can respond to anything.
Yeah.
The police can't carry out them duties to arrest them. The police at Jamaica can't fight corruption, and the media play a vital role with disinforming the public, just like what happened in up in St. Catherine. So you're not gonna find no commissioner come out and stand up, or even person is the authority stand up for the right as you see happen right now. I just seen a video where a policeman basically had threatened a man because him tell him to move in vehicle down in one of them places, to them send it to the group.
Yes.
I mean, I see all them foolishness that the public must have to put up with. Because you know what, I will call a spade a spade. If crime is happening and police are fighting crime, that is understandable. Because We cannot afford for the criminal them take over society. But when you have the commissioner at Trinidad or wherever you play, making it read between the lines, the people and the chat know say at the government him attack, you know.
Him tell them, him say it.
They're the most corrupt, they're the most despicable.
Him call them out.
Yeah, and when I talk about Mr. Bailey's ability for run the JCF, people fight against me, people criticize me. But then you tell me some people prefer Gugu over Mr. Bailey.
No, Gugu for resign no, man. Hashtag, man.
A press briefing and somebody in the comment, you know, big up again, say, you know, the speech was written and given to him, and him never even go over it. So him just come believe him had done and him can talk. Him for go on the battlefield, go lead some little man some suicide mission, or that him for go to kind of fucking sense. He's a bad idiot. He knows nothing about policing.
Nothing. Yeah, Gugu.
And that's why sometimes we troll them with them saying, yeah, you know, we have to address them.
No, we have to address them. We don't have to troll boy,
brother. We have a time where we go off on them. Right. But sometimes we have to deal with them professionally. Because again, I am so mad.
Yeah, because
to the man them I do right now with the people them.
Yeah, but hear this better.
Community and lick down the people them house and then go back with a falsified story. You send false news in the media to make the public, this the so-called one them will live up in them Beverly Hills house and them mansion where nobody not trouble them. You make them believe say some gunman live on a place.
And the Prime Minister himself do it.
And try to uplift themselves and make benefit for themselves.
Yeah?
This information, this is destroying Jamaican society.
Brother, me show it, you know. And the Prime Minister himself said these things. You understand? The Prime Minister himself come say these things about gunman and them thing down. Him. Me had somebody will come and tell me about Anjo, a matter of fact. I come and tell me about a UDC. No, not UDC. You come and tell me about UDC. You know, this is what them do. When me say Andrew himself come say what him say, you know. You understand? Andrew himself come say what him say. And for them come and say, no, I'm shouldn't do this. Remember, you know, we ancestors, them will go through blood, sweat, and tears, and that, you know. You know, the same could not take in feel, you know. Yeah?
Yes.
You're not supposed to even buy no land there, so. You understand?
Buried all over the place, and people unmarked grave sites.
Of course.
Unmarked grave sites. That's why even in some countries, even now, some places you see it all the time in the media, the news. They dig up places and find bodies. You know how many slaves buried all over these properties?
That me I talk about.
You understand? And the thing about it that is annoying to me and to you and the family within the chat. Every time you host your program and you talk about the corruption, you talk about the things that are bothering society, people try to make it political.
No, you see, no, but that's how we ban them now.
Comment that try to make it look like so you don't burn out PNP. You burn out everybody. You burn out politicians. Look how much time you burn out police corruption. Whether we are serving or not serving, whether we have sympathies towards the JCF or not, you burn out the things that you consider that is not workable and is not right.
Brother, look now, my mother have a look and say, brother, I'm going to him too. Any one of them, my mother and my father, you know, you remember them bring up on earth, you know, so. You know, them, yeah, we see with these people, them, the people, you understand? Them, they put me on earth or so. Anything, mother, sister, brother, no wrong with me. You do something wrong, me I born no too. You understand? Me no deal with that. Me and my mother and my father, because them never come with no disrespect neither or nothing like that. You know, but you know, when you have some people come up, my mother can say, brother, I born them out too. Yeah? Me no, them, you understand? Because some is staying, me no wrong. But what you talk about, man? We look like me a play, man.
And then the Prime Minister going to the same community that he just sent heavy equipment vehicles in to destroy. They now go out hug up people and in front of the people them like nothing happened. The man is cool and
hearted, man.
Ruthless in a way.
Yes. Cool, and I Google always with him, you know.
See the reality of this man. Why? What is it that people don't see? How dangerous this man is. Not even Siaga. The man beat Siaga by 20 points.
Man, dangerous, brother. Dangerous bad.
Seeing people
dangerous bad.
People see politics. They're not seeing the well-being of the people.
Nah.
The man stand in parliament. Him denounce. Him degrade. Him decry. Him find every verb and every adjective to describe the community. The man basically said me a send bulldozer in there. He said he's bringing out the police and the military We strategically make sure that there is no violence because he had a game plan. And him say, make it seem like him say, people are fight against and attack the government.
Yeah, and the man say, talks, and then me have thing for sure say, them see a man in a hole and sell the land to the people. Them, and me I said you should even buy the land. And if you want to give the man there, one NCB, and then people go slave for him, give the people them and make them turn entrepreneurs upon them one. Because it makes sense. Me I got plant something and me I got deal with it and me I feel work for people. Why we are gonna give a man with billions of dollars and all kind of thing already? That don't make no sense, brother.
But we in freedom. Yeah? Freedom make a very good point here now. Freedom say, Carla, we understand that Andrew want to war with Jamaicans still. That's what he want to do, freedom. That's what he want to do. And this is the reason why we have this platform, and this is why I love the people in our chat group and Beverly and HD, everybody big up yourself out of many, everybody in the family, because we see reality for what it is.
I ask for the recommitted.
Mind people make it political. Look how we encompass this program and burn police corruption.
Me burn everything, brother. Maybe it's about them, man.
Civil servant, you think me mad with we nobody don't time here you we half topic nothing we no agree on and we okay with that.
Of course.
But when you talk about the thing that is not right, you think somebody will attack you for what?
Well, you know right, brother.
Children and you grow them, not everyone gonna be happy with your decision, but you still have to make the decision.
Right, that is it.
Discipline your children.
Hold on, brother, look on this.
The capturing and the legal construction has continued to the point where some 30 structures have been identified.
Listen to himself.
Let me be clear. The government wants every Jamaican to be able to own their own home and a piece of Jamaica. But it must be done orderly and lawfully. This illegal capturing and building on public or private land will not be tolerated.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, in August, when I went to open 2 housing developments in St. Catherine Estate was one, and in that presentation, I alluded to this, and I was very clear that we will not allow the illegal occupation of public lands, capturing them, pretending to sell them under the false pretense of ownership, or building on them. And in particular, Madam Speaker, we will not allow criminal gangs to create communities in this country.
You're right. Stop checking out. Stop praying.
Madam Speaker, as you see in front of you by the pictures, this illegal capturing and building on the lands compromises the well-laid development plan. It takes away the land designated for agriculture. You will note, Madam Speaker. So go back to the previous slide.
Agriculture,
Previous slide. All of here that's farming. Likely peppers or tomatoes. And this is what has happened with the illegal capture. So, Madam Speaker, aside from the technical and security issues that it poses, all of Jamaica must acknowledge, every single Jamaican must acknowledge that this is just wrong.
All right.
The government of Jamaica, therefore, will make a stand. And I repeat, Madam Speaker, the government of Jamaica.
You're here. All right.
This is not going to be left to a government agency.
Okay. So him.
No. this is something that the central government of Jamaica must stand up
Yeah.
and ensure it does not continue.
Okay.
So, Madam Speaker, directions have been given to the security forces to have a strong presence in the area to treat with any threats from any criminal that may want to interrupt or exercise control or present any obstacle to the government rectifying that situation. So the JDF has deployed a forward operating base meters away from this area, and they are doing regular patrols, and they have created a security blanket, including regular surveillance, drone surveillance, and other forms of surveillance to see whether or not there will be any movement by criminals in those areas.
Oh God, man.
Madam Speaker, tomorrow, the government will act to demolish those structures.
And them clap. Them people are still at me, the whole of them with us mark them and I know because this is a true or four going on basketball. Everyone I want to clap, lose seat.
But we in BCA made it plain. Directions given to the security forces is that this is a declaration of war on the people.
Of course. And you can't do it from the parliament. It's when you are the yes.
Them people are the family. And we just keep quiet and make you run the thing, because
yes.
what more do people want us to prove? Just to interject for a minute, Wayne. There's an individual, Bloomfield, that's saying about PNP. Bloomfield need to understand this, and he's being addressed in the
well, I know what the government. Bloomfield, you think go where? Yes. Go where?
If PNP is in power, me 100% sure we ain't gonna point to it.
But none of that. None of that. So Zeke, so the government, what the government do? You go over fix two fix that around the same go do it. You have two criminal gang in a Spanish town, one other clans. Who them have a pan thing they know. Me above that said long time she know about one other. I be that down there so where them control on a mobile. You don't go see them come boom 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 boy, you not see not all. Just look what the people them are dead in the spot. The other day around 9 people get shot. You hear anything about it? I know over Warmington place that's up. Eh? Look what going in a Clarendon. How are the MP down there? Eh? Nobody must say nothing.
But that's right.
But you want some gang the gang you don't say it have this a trace. Like people are either uno flat, uno plain field. Uno fi go where? Yeah. No, but when me born everybody still but me gonna try to show you I saw them enough. Like me tell you, remember the opposition don't have no power in the parliament. Them can't you have certain things like the state of emergency where you have to use your upper and lower house, then them can launch it. But if we continue now, them gonna need even maybe a 2/3 member, and that time of the remember them have the members, them Alibaba and the 48, right? But you remember say in the Senate, them have to leave me and maybe a 1 or 2 vote from the opposition side to pass it, so it can struck down back. You understand? But otherwise, the cabinet itself pass these things. The opposition not have no power in it, and we the people have to come talk. You better? You understand? Them thing like this, the cabinet. You have certain things at cabinet alone pass. I can't people make them explain it to you. See?
That's
so
right,
when the opposition there, them can just come knock out against it, or we ourselves come knock out against it. So I understand even that about politics and them thing there. But you have a government hold them accountable. You talk about PNP.
That's the way it is.
That because you are one of them dirty, nasty, Jamaican, you're labor right.
But
you are a piece of shit. That's why you with a flush, you need 2 sheets of zinc. The look nastiness. What make a burn out? Well, I know. What make a day as I know? Why not PNP for me burn out and not PNP of the government? Tell me I eat that. Me have to do Andrew work. When Andrew mash up the place, you feel a drunk crow. I'm a tough fuck. You have a drunk crow. You're a shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, brother. Me I hear you.
Yeah, because
yeah, man.
Me I said this. Michelle, one of our members. She said, we never voted for Michael Leachin. How come he's running the country? This is
that
the
is it.
Them thing the little man will make him Bloomfield or wherever I miss to listen.
Yeah, that's a piece of crap, man.
Michelle,
yes.
say something, make a relevant statement. You know,
yes.
everybody else we are in group in the chat. Because the Prime Minister sell out the people of Jamaica to Leachin.
Of course.
And show him rich. I him basically because you made it. And Michelle, we
Brother.
talk it over and over about the private sector organization of Jamaica and the role they
And
play.
them around the country.
Funding the political parties. And this little man having people get. As a matter of fact, Michelle, recently, not few months ago, we heard a program where the head for the PSOJ was talking about the state of the country. So right
because we are born them.
Concerned.
Because we are born them too.
Am I right, Wayne?
You're right.
Yeah. So,
but
you know,
you were Andrew, and you remember this.
Can back up some of these
well, I know you're Andrew. I want thing with me. Notice me can just draw back for thing with them say and what have you. And me not go now year say I'm gonna say yo. Like UDC, yeah, go with. Because you don't love party too much, that's why the country I think. After you're done, when what somebody from the government you have to hold them accountable. That's why Jamaica now go, you know, see them rich. Or a man for us poor so 2,000 couldn't find 1,000 US. For pay where I pay for invest it. But by 2013, when you look at one of the biggest house from Beverly Hills, I hear that. Eh? And I put them value 200 million value more than that. You hear that?
When we talk about these things,
and the one of them, one man have learned too much and you know about them. When I hear that, but you come and talk about no bond, they don't bring no politics that's to me. And when you talk, it not bother me. That make it worse. Me a manly heights, you a drunk crow. Don't come here so with it. You understand? If you ever drunk, go a mouthpiece with that. Go tell mouthpiece them I get 20 million. To go chat them bag of things and 30 million to close them bill. Don't come here so with that. Yeah, man.
PNP people are JLP. We're talking about the reality.
No, but me no vote. But you see me no like, let me tell you this. This government are mostly for the rich boys them all the while. And the first them do these kind of things. Them won't go talk. Let me call it lip service. I watch what them doing. Go when voting time. Them print some little thing and come get 2 grand and them thing them can catch you for licky. Then make sure you're hungry. And then Angelo use that thing where I'm telling about, you know, this is kind of politics. And Don and I was born in one room, them 2 rooms, the man 2 lie.
Yes.
Yeah, man. You understand? So we are holding them accountable. So you know where them peers troll. Alone someone can't manage, my man. My name alone someone them can't manage. Because when them go do so boom boom, you know, them just as say, I'm me alone some man. Anyway, I tell the world. Them and nobody out of Jamaica, you know. Nobody know them. Me alone, so go look what me do. Me know the one I go look already, you know. So this is like, one of the one who say me a giant. Yes, he's a sleeping giant, you know, fucking fool, you know. You understand? Why can't give me that chat?
The Prime Minister sell out the people of Jamaica.
Yes, man.
The people of Jamaica.
Him sell them out.
And bringing him look a idiot friend Gugu Gaga to come disrupt the whole running of the JSTF. Remember the first time we have a conversation.
Yes.
And the people in the chat might remember me. I say, me complain and me I say, why they bring an army man to come run the JSTF? The group of me, the police group of me, enough little man I say this, that, everybody take back them talk. The man them so embarrassed. The man can't get this briefing. And the people in the our chat family, you just play things to prove to them.
All right, but we were out a minute just said.
I never fight against the army. Me say me a fight against the army, me a fight against this, me a fight against that. Look,
you not fight against nothing, brother. See what the man do there? I can't make them kill off the youth them because we are get all now. So what you do? When you kill off the youth them, what you do? It's a doom's place. Start take over. Run over by all kind of people, Chinese and other people and other nation and them things.
Look on the boy, them in a slippers with them get sledgehammer. Look on the boy, them with them geek.
All them is a goddamn shame and disgrace. And go look where them live. You want to check where them live.
That anybody will just come in and see the boy, them a wear slippers. Them in a work boot. They know in a work boot that will show you people that the chat
them hungry.
Yeah. Bringing in friend them to come destroy the people them. So boy in a slippers, we are all fucking criminal them.
A criminal them, man. Police won't shoot them, man.
Criminal boy them.
Them now, hey, let me tell you this. I want to with me, you know. There is no government coming and tell them, say, remember, you know, you are the chief servant of the country. Me understand this clearly, yeah? Remember, nobody not vote for the prime minister neither. Same like how them three in them put in a governor general, same way them three you in to be a prime minister. But you just vote as MP, like anybody else. So you, as a leader, as the of the party, then you know them say, okay, make him, you know, swear in as the prime minister. But him not swear in as the prime minister, no brother. It can be anybody else from the group. You never know. Of course. A Westminster model. So me understand all that too. So you can be the leader of the party, but you still you have to be the prime minister. But them just want to be the better. You understand?
I broke down a scenario for you one time. I broke down a scenario. If you have a bunch of soldiers in a platoon, and they have a first lieutenant, a second lieutenant, a sergeant, a corporal, and a lance corporal, and if all the senior men are killed during battle, including the commissioned individuals, the corporal, sergeant, whatever, most times them promote the senior private because he has more experience than most of those that they send to lead the team.
Of course.
You understand? So you made a valid point. But again, people in the chat group, when we bring up some subjects, all people are see is politics.
No, we are saying no.
Corruption of the force.
No, we are saying, my brother.
Program and say we are fighting against police, and nobody to love the JCF more than me.
All right. So here this no we. But all right, look at don't me tell them they may have a so-called criminal police. Don't the girl she go up, she put thing in her she pokey. And right now she sing like a bird and everything. Look how she there lock up people. Can you imagine a criminal that lock up people, you know? And I go in and I smuggling our drugs, you know, and I scam people, you know, 1.6 million. And you see it? She got cut deal. It good still. I love when she cut deal because somebody driving it and a big boys. You understand? But yes, still, she there Jamaica now, she a police and lock you up for break any little thing, but yes, still she a big criminal undercover, brother. Yeah? You know, have no integrity, you're not supposed to come straight. That's why them go on. So that's why I say every police will talk about them a bad man police. Go check them background, brother. When you about me a bad man, them tell them a bad man. And police.
We not talk to you about this, about the recruitment process. We talk to you about the recruitment process. My interview when I applied for and joined and went through the process.
48 or 49 of them.
I was going through serious interrogation, and me wonder about the credibility, which me used to talk about, and me get enough bashing feed about some of them who are coming out of the force. See it right now. How can you have a commission of people in the chat that cannot give a press briefing? We don't need nobody for prompt him. And I say again, Mr. Bailey call out some wanted man people in the chat, and Mr. Bailey also know them AKAs, and they might tell you them AKAs. If you have to look on the paper, to be a police officer, you have to have a brain like a microchip. You see a face today, and when you drive and make 20 patrol or 30 patrol, you come back next week, you know that face.
That is it.
That's the principles of proper training in policing.
But brother, you do a press briefing as the chief. Yeah? The police chief. And them answer one thing and give a piece of paper to need that. Look at. Just look at.
How can each citizen, how can each Jamaican...
Just look at one, all the man need for them, no, say, him can't chat and have nothing to say. Just say one or two look thing and stop.
Talk to us, please, about the Jamaica you want to see, and how can each citizen, how can each Jamaican, whether yard or abroad, contribute to the security of Jamaica?
So, you know, I go through life being grateful and blessed.
That's Christ.
And I come at everything from
you get the question, no?
Grateful and blessed. And grateful and blessed to be a part of Star program. And beyond that, although I didn't come here, as you say, with the commissioner hat.
Yes.
But I feel grateful and blessed to be leading the JCF at this time.
Jesus Christ.
It's a tough time for us.
Yes.
But I'm grateful and blessed to be doing it. You know why? Because somebody has to be the rock for those police officers out there.
Yeah. You know, you're as dumb as a rock. You know, like when you attack the rock, and like hard and tough as a rock, you attack as dumb as a rock. I must have one them attack, you know, like you attack to a rock. Like them guys, like them look at you there, them as dumb as rock, you know. So, like, see the rock, yeah? And the rock, somebody have to be the rock to the police officer. You know, you attack to a rock, it's not going to answer you back, don't it? Yeah, good.
Every day, in the community, engaging the community in a way that caused and attracted the attention of the private sector to join with us, continue and build on that relationship we have with the community. The truth of the matter is, when the cameras are gone, when there are no interviews, when the schools are shut for the night, we are there and the people are there. We experience their pain and we see it firsthand. So even on our dark days,
and our rough times, we are reaching out to support community.
Let me stop that. This could be a commissioner better. What kind of better you want for Jamaica? I think that's simple, man. You want, people live good and live honest and boom, bam, bam, and job creation and the youth them can get something to do and they school them up and better hospital, run good and those simple things. That's a two thing. No, the man answer nothing, You ask him one thing, if that's why I do the tune Gugu Gaga. You understand?
Glad you can hear this because this is what me talk from the very deep.
The man for resign, brother. This is not a police. This is not a what this man? When you look now, the Prime Minister take the land. When you look, I look at what boy up thing come up, leeching name come up. He might go to farm. We don't know you do farming, brother. You have bank, you have all kind of things. And they must have flow by out flow and all kind of things. You get older, brother, make people want more entrepreneurs. Why you want to be a slave master? Why you gonna get the land for zero, for nothing at all, and then put people for work? Me can plant the seed. I can plant the seed them. But you gonna make the money and fight same way. That don't make no sense. So why the Prime Minister give you our land where our people them fight for hard back and I remember, if you got through already, why you want to be a stumbling block in a people with your brother? Go sit down, man. You for go to man. The whole port and you not take one the whole place. So if you go, man. And you can't have a government that's there for the private sector and the big boys that take everything and give them. You don't put them in for this, brother. Then for go, brother.
And you know what is disturbing? The young lady says she just spent her 800,000.
Yes.
To her little place and the rascal drunk come and hug up the girl and I go like him never make demeaning, derogatory and destructive comments towards the community.
Himself.
Where them get this man from, man? So you're looking at the man, it's like you see Satan times 10.
But him say it, and him come back, and yes, I'm lied though. I lied. I think I'm gonna tell no one about me. Yes, him I said to the road, they want to put nothing like that because they say himself for farming, so nothing about no road. And the whole of the house them unify because you can't see the house them, right? So him go do that, and you can't order from this. You must have a process where to go through. It must. It can't be able to say, me give the police my order. That's a dictatorship, brother. Jamaica can't run, so you can't get order from this and say, just come mash up this and do this. You're overstep a bound. Me not ask. You have to talk to my learned friend, them, brother.
You know the unfortunate thing,
yes.
A lot of people that are under command, the military police, they are subjected to certain things as it rules and duties and instructions, but it does not say you cannot stand your ground. It doesn't say you can't stand your ground. If you want truth, reconciliation, and justice, you have to stand your ground.
Of course,
a lot of these soldiers, them come from poor upbringing.
Them
come from ghetto too. Not for them
do this.
And how them feel within themselves. Who say a man send them in a community with bushmaster, with so many farmers.
Look at the gun with them carrying in a Jamaica, brother. Where them buy this,
right or wrong. You send gun in a community where people, where nurse live, soldier live, all police live
there too. And you still, him same have surveillance and have intelligence and say I'll be a criminal live there. Capture it and nothing no go so. I'll be able to people not go school. The man so him too lie, man. Andrew and him lying is better.
Intelligence when I used to go in that community.
The man Google.
Why not use it in the flankers and all the areas
Thank you, brother.
that have high volatile crime?
Yeah, man.
Where is it? Why don't you strategically place cameras? Make people see it in a clear kind of government. Nobody can bad them up. If they mean well for Jamaica, put cameras every major street, major intersection, the high volatile crime here. The bad man them tell him say them are gonna take them down.
All right.
Why don't do that? This is where me preach like Paul for your program all the while. Crime can be curtailed. Where are surveillance? Where are drones? If you must spend so much billions on security, where are the drones? What about tapping phones of the criminals?
Yeah,
what
man.
About Bascobel Airport where them sees $3 billion worth of cocaine? And the stinking drunk when he vase when we see each up behind him, that fucking piece of shit, no excuse my language. That nothing ass the drunk and the dirty one where him have as security minister. What is he doing with them?
I don't even know. And the agin time because of them did one Bascobel. But me I tell you, say Me don't want you have to come in and do something because me don't want, remember, you know, when Russia and them places say it's a loose, that means them can rent a little plane and then have a little dirty bomb and come drop it down on a place. Whether in Miami or something, and then we're going to label Jamaica as a little terrorist place, and then the people them suffer more because the big boys and some criminal politician work.
Douglas made a valid point in a way.
Yes.
He's only a cold-hearted person. Make a reason on this, you know. You're the host. How can you talk about your care for the poor?
Yes.
You talk about your care for the people, and the people that live on piece of land. Yes, we.
No, but wait, hold on.
People live on the land. People live on the land for 40 years.
No, but hold on. I know just any land that you know. This is the land where people them dead pan brother. Where them slave pan and not get no money. Where your great granduncle and grandaunt and great grandmother might get all raped and father get sodomized and I'm not joking, you know. This is a land where blood, sweat, and tears from Africa come there. So remember where you know where we come from, man. See?
Yes.
So the land they shouldn't even sell, they should have cut it and make sure the people them get it at type of reparation. Remember the slave master them get paid, you know. I must say 2015 or so, Britain done finish paying them off. For the land and for the slave, that means our people them get paid for. So when you have somebody in there, so you cannot sell them the land.
When the Spaniards did want to rape and pillage, you know, what them do? Them give the natives blankets with chicken pox.
And kill them out, brother.
And there's the same application this Prime Minister is using, you know. He's giving the people of Jamaica, the lower class, because yes, we understand even the chat group and the people them might agree or not disagree with me. You have the upper class and the lower class. As
when I'm learning, Bridget, call me there.
Infected blankets.
Yes.
Give to the lower class people.
Yeah, man, from my life.
Them with chicken pox. And that's what you want to do, you know.
Yeah, man.
Because they don't care. And I will never tell Beverly and everybody in the chat, Sam and Ainsley Blake, Paul Bailey, everybody, me I tell all of us, as long as we have this program, I will never stop calling in and campaign for certain things. You know why? Because we have to get rid of him. I don't care when the troll them come, family, we are run them off of the chat.
We don't want them on there. We have to tell them straight.
We
Rona,
are
sir.
Manlyites. Me are Manlyites.
Thank you. Rona, sir, we are Manlyites, so we don't need to know Rona, sir.
I was a civil servant and me work for the cause for the people of Jamaica. So nobody
can
after me. Me have a right to feel how me feel.
Yes.
This man is a disaster.
Yeah, man.
Take down the people in house and then you go show you dangerous the man is in a way. The man go about the very people who just bulldozer down them house.
Yes.
The man dangerous, man.
Yeah, man.
The man is venomous.
Mm-hmm.
If the people in the chat know a Komodo dragon, you watch a Komodo dragon, the saliva in the mouth of the Komodo dragon.
That poisonous, brother.
When you
bite
him left you for days until you're dead, it is so toxic.
Oh, you mean him just bite and him just one bite and just move? And not run it down. Man, get you.
That why you make a song called Komodo dragon.
Yeah, man.
Komodo dragon.
Yes, man. Hey, you know, if you say that on Google, him not understand what you mean, you know. Like, come, I can't finish, you say something, I finish it, because you say, come on, and I say, you man, buy it, man, I'm touched, and left your man, because you're dead, man. Your pie is not, man, him pie is your man. But Google not gonna know these things, you know. So like you talk, you can just blame and we talk, you know? You understand? They have no idea what you are saying.
Look how much topic me you can discuss.
Brother.
You don't know much time you chat offline and we say we and me, and you know my stance.
Our thing different, brother. We don't say nothing.
Things.
Hear this. Hear this now. Come, Mr. McGann, the 2 hours limit. But before you go away, remember, you know, you're there saying, so make the people them know say you're there about to, you know.
Yes, man, 100%, man.
You see it?
Family there, man. I have to big it up.
You see it? Run things.
Definitely I did it. Definitely I did it.
Hey, the crew are there, man. I'm going to tell you so the crew are there, man. You see it? The crew there, man. It is 90s. You know, say at the 15th of November, so you know it's going on. Yeah, man. The whole crew are there, man. We are there, man.
Yes,
up, man.
Yep, man. You make your thing. We big up yourself, Mr.
Later, yeah, brother.
BCA, Simone, big up yourself. I mean, I do the same thing, right? Rally Row, Paul, HD, JJ, who come in and who don't come in. Big up, bless up everybody. I know that Wayne family. Big up yourself, Wayne.
Bless up. Yeah, man. Now I run to because the time I run. Because when we start talking, you know, say, you know, we have one podcast. But me tell you this now. I want to know truth. Don't come here, so. We can't distract we. We are not like Anjo or Google. Can't distract we. We're going to run now. And we're going to ban now. Because it don't make no sense. We don't have no win round here, so. And in a real life, we can't win neither. It don't make no sense. You understand? It don't make no sense. So we have our thing. You can't go talk to them. Go more peace with you, go talk to them. We not look somebody for work and then finish mash up and get the people. We don't have nobody just to sale around here, so. Not at all. You understand? We keep it real around here. Yeah. You understand? Whole government accountable. Hashtag Gugu Gaga resign. We don't talk. Me there. Jeffrey, me see you now. Bless up yourself, yeah? Up. Bless. Later.